G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Where's My Yowie. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper report about a Yowie sighting at the Victoria River, Northern Territory, in 1831. So we'll get into it. This was published in the Sydney Gazette and New South Wales Advertiser on Tuesday, the 1st of November, 1831, titled Advance Australia, Sydney Gazette. We understand that an official report has been forwarded to the government by the Commandant at Bathurst of a most important discovery said to be made in the interior to the northward of the colony. It seems that a runaway prisoner of the Crown, who had absconded on several occasions and has been for many years in the bush, lately surrendered himself to Major Macpherson at Bathurst and reports the existence of a naval river to the northward of Liverpool Plains, from which it takes a northwesterly course and empties itself into the Gulf of Van Diemen. The man states that he traced the river to its mouth, near to which he fell in with several tribes of natives armed with bows and arrows, who informed him by signs that numerous boats occasionally came there with black men who cut down particular trees and fished for a sort of slug which they pointed out in the water, answering the description in every respect of the beech de mer. The trees are supposed to be of sandalwood. On looking at the map, it will be seen that the Bay or Gulf of Van Diemen is nearly opposite Timor, so that the men in boats described by the natives may be fairly presumed to be parties of Malays in prows, who came over to procure sandalwood and beech de mer, articles which form so valuable a part of their trade, particularly with China. In addition to these particulars, the narrator reports that he fell in with numbers of hippopotamuses and orangutans, animals of whose existence in New Holland we have never before heard, even a surmise. The most important part of the discovery, supposing the statement of this man to be correct, is the existence of a river such as he describes, and there is no doubt that the government will immediately take proper measures to ascertain the fact. The end. Well, that's a really amazing and interesting story. We'll just talk about the convict first. So the guy that escaped, his name was George the Barber Clarke, and he was a convict escapee assigned to Benjamin Singleton, and he fled in 1826, and he lived with the Kamilaroi peoples, and who they treated him as one of their own who returned from the dead. And he had two Aboriginal wives. He underwent body initiation rites and generally adopted the language, dress and customs of the tribe. Okay, so in 1827 there was large stocks of cattle were introduced to the Liverpool Plains, and so Clarke returned to cattle rustling and built stockyards and everything. And then when times were hard, he'd go back to Benjamin Singleton and surrender himself back to him. But he again fled with the Aborigines while he was leading Singleton on an expedition for new country. He then returned to bushranging, was captured in 1831, escaped, was recaptured, escaped again, and was finally recaptured, after which he was marched 210 kilometres to Sydney and transported to Norfolk Island. He was hung in Tasmania for further offences in 1835. So when Clarke mentioned about the river and all that, the acting governor sent Thomas Mitchell on an expedition into the district, and it opened up the area for settlement. And then just a little story about George Clarke. So one time he's been arrested, right? And so all the Aborigines who loved him and all that, they've all turned up at the police station, and they threatened to destroy all the police if Clarke wasn't handed over. And this copper, he was pretty clever, Sergeant Sandy. He's marched Clarke out with a pistol to Clarke's head and said the first spear that's thrown will be a signal for his death. So that ended that, and all the Aborigines went home. And then, okay, so we'll just get on to what he saw. Okay, so the first question I've got is, I reckon he made it to the Victoria River, because how would he know about sea cucumbers? That's got me interested, because they call them beach demurrer in the article, but they're sea cucumbers. Like, you wouldn't know about the trade of them unless you were up that way. And then, so he saw hippopotamuses and orangutans. So the orangutans are obviously Yowies, and I did a story called Missing Links and Man-Apes, Yowie tribe discovered in the Northern Territory in 1987. And that was about German Professor Hermann Clarke, who discovered a tribe of Yowies in the exact same area of the Victoria River. So that's possible he did see all the Yowies. But I want to know what the hippos were. Like, what were they? Were they dugongs or seals or something else, or bunyips? Who knows? But it's a very interesting story. Okay, that's it from me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.